Hey Falcons, it's Mrs. Abdul, and I'm here to tell you my top 10 of 2021. The first one is If These Wings Could Fly. This is the story of Layton and her experience as a victim of domestic violence. Her father abuses both her mother, her sisters, and herself, and there seems to be really no way out. She meets a boy named Liam in school, and between Liam and the crows that keep circling the house, there is hopefully a way to get out of the situation that she's in. This next one is Punching the Air. This is a perfect read-alike if you are a fan of Long Way Down by Jason Reynolds, because it's also written in verse and talks about the struggles of a boy making some decisions and then what the consequences of some of those decisions, as well as the ones the justice system is going to make for him. The next one is Permanent Record. This is the autobiography of Edward Snowden, who was the 2013 whistleblower. He gathered a lot of documents from the government over many years working for the government, and decided that he was going to share it with the world about how the government keeps surveillance and keeps tabs on people. So this is actually the young adult adaptation of the adult biography that he wrote about his experience. This next one is The House in the Cerulean Sea. This is kind of one of those books that's like an everybody book. We are following the life of Linus, who is just kind of like this regular, 40-something-year-old guy working in this kind of dead-end job, but it's working for the Department of Magical Youth. And his new assignment is essentially to go to this orphanage that is run by a gentleman named Arthur Parnassus with all of these magical children in the orphanage, and he's not quite sure what his actual job is supposed to entail, but he meets a 7-year-old Antichrist along with a green blob, a magical female gnome, and a whole bunch of cast of characters. It is as heartbreaking and emotional as it is super funny and adventurous, all in the same breath. This next one is Home is Not a Country. It's another verse novel, and it focuses on a girl named Nima whose life has been kind of marred by tragedy. Her father died when she was young. Her mom kind of works a lot and doesn't have a lot of time to spend with her. But Nima is playing kind of this what if game, because she realizes or has found out that if life had taken a different path, that her name would have been Yasmin. And she thinks about what it would have been like if her dad had not died and she had been named Yasmin. So it has a magical quality to this phantom life that she's kind of quasi-living if she had been named Yasmin. Saigon by Phuc Tran is another autobiography. And this one, again, is all of the same pieces as some of the other books that I've been talking about. It's as funny as it is heartbreaking. He's got a wonderful dark sense of humor. So the book is about his family's emigration to the United States from Vietnam, and what it was like growing up in the 70s and 80s, especially as punk rock was coming in, but also just like how to fit in as an immigrant and as a little kid, and understanding kind of how life is. This next one is The Magic Fish. You can see that I have a theme going here. I was in love with anything magical at this point. The Magic Fish is a graphic novel, and Tien is the main character. He is a kid who has something to say to his parents, and he's not quite sure that with the language barrier with his parents and with his own reluctance to share it, that it's going to, come across. He knows that he needs to tell his parents that he's gay, and he's doing it in a way through fairy tales. So you get a lot of Vietnamese fairy tales kind of interwoven into the story as he leads up to and builds up to being able to share that with his family. This next one is another autobiography. It's called A Most Beautiful Thing by R.Shay Cooper, who was one of the crew members of the first all-Black rowing team in Chicago. So the book kind of talks about the mental and physical toughness of being a member of crew, but also what it was like to be an all Black crew team and the mentors that he had along the way, as well as the toughness that he had to build up both physically and mentally. So if you're a sports fan, a sports reader, even though crew might not be your sport, it has all of the same situations and stories that you would get in any kind of sports book, but he tells it in that perspective of the true story of this first all Black high school rowing team. All 13 by Soong Tornvat is another story about the Thai boys' cave rescue, just like there was another book called Rising Water. This one dives a little bit more into the religion and culture of Thailand, but also just gives you the same amazing heart-pounding story of how the boys were rescued after it was discovered that they were missing and not hidden away, but deep inside of this cave without the ability to get back out themselves. And the last one on the list is A Song of Wraiths and Ruin. This is a fantasy series. So especially if you love series and you love kind of these epic fantasies, this one has a dual story. You've got Karina, who is the daughter of the queen, and her mother has just been assassinated. She is going to be assuming power. And Malik, whose sister has been held hostage. What Malik needs to do in order to get his sister back is to kill Karina. And so you have these dueling opportunities, and the festival of Solstasia is coming up, and it's leading to a lot of chaos and craziness in this kind of desert town, desert village that they live in the city. And it's about how these two situations are going to kind of come to a head in this story. So those are my top 10. Just a reminder that all throughout the summer, you can take a look at the library's social media on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And we hope that you read like a falcon all summer long. If you need more information about anything, you can visit the Albany Schools Summer Programs page and get more information.